Hi friends, I'm Abby and welcome back to my channel. Today I'm coming at you from the floor, so a little bit lower down than normal. Normally I sit on the chair and it's very comfortable. Today we're sitting on the floor because we're going to talk about my physical TBR and how I don't think it's really shrunk in the past year. Last year when I filmed my physical TBR, I was like, I've got 3 shelves, but I really want to get it down to 2. And we're still at 3 shelves. I haven't got it down to 2. It hasn't really seemed to shrunk. I think it's still roughly around the same number, with which, as long as it's below 100, I'll be happy. But the question is it below 100? So today we're going to go through, we're going to film my TBR, which is why I'm sat on the floor, because my TBR shelves are at the bottom of my bookshelf. If you don't know, the way I organise my bookshelves is that the TBR sits at the bottom, and then once I read the books, they can go and grace the presence of the higher shelves, because I think if the books are at eye level, that's like my favourites, because that's where I see them all the time, because they're like right in front of my eyes. And so they have to earn their place on the higher shelves, and like that's where the favourites go, they go on the higher shelves. So we're at the bottom with the TBR. There isn't really much organisation in how the TBR is organised, although I do think this shelf might be the oldest books on the TBR. There's 3 shelves, let's just get into it. And I won't really be talking about synopsi for the books. We're just going to be showing the books. And if you can leave a comment on which books you want me to prioritise, which books you want me to read first, which books I should be reading, which books you think I'm going to love, which books I should be getting off this TBR as quickly as possible. Stack number 1, which is not on the shelf right now because I've been planning to read it for like months and then I haven't, so it's just sat on its own little floor shelf for a while, is Speaking Bones by Ken Liu, the 4th and final book in the Dandelion Dynasty, which I've been planning to read for months, which is why it's not actually on the shelf right now. It's just sat next to the shelf. So book number 1, we have The Black Prism by Brent Weeks and also The Blinding Knife, so the first and second book in this series. I have Lancelot by Giles Christian, The Name of the Wind by Patrick Rothfuss. If it was Patrick Ness, he'd have written the 3rd book by now. A Magician by Raymond D. Feist, The Gutter Prayer by Gareth Hanrahan, and The Lives of Locke Lamora by Scott Lynch. I feel like this is my pile of like epic fantasy that I've had for ages that I haven't read because they're not complete. I have The Court of Miracles by Kester Grant, Vespertine by Margaret Rogerson. Alright, on to the next stack. Shadows of Self by Brandon Sanderson, The Ninth Reign by Jen Williams, Legendborn by Tracy Dion, The Three-Body Problem by Sixin Liu, And I Darken by Kirsten White, Invictus by Ryan Gordon, The Strange Case of the Alchemist's Daughter by Theodora Goss, Middle Game by Shauna Maguire, and Ship of Magic by Robin Hobb. Also, if you think there are any books that I on this TBR that you think I'm not going to like and I should just read a chapter and unhaul, then also let me know about that as well. Peace and Turmoil by Elliot Brooks. And then almost a Sanderson pile, but not quite. The First Sister by Lyndon A. Lewis. Witch Shadow by Susan Dennard. And then this is a Sanderson pile. I have Skyward Flight and Cytonic. And then I have Oathbringer and Rhythm of War by Brandon Sanderson, the 3rd and 4th book in the Stormlight Archive. Right, and that is the first shelf. That's the first shelf, okay? I've lost track of how many books it is already. On to shelf number 2. I think I have a whole stack here of new releases. To get all 22 hardback releases. Some of these being like Fairylit ones, like nice editions. Actually, quite a few of these are Fairylit ones, and then some like Waterstones ones, just pretty 2022 releases. So I have The Undertaking of Heart and Mercy by Megan Bannon, The City of Dusk by Tara Sim, Book of Night by Holly Black, Daughter of the Moon Goddess by Sue Lynn Tan, The Stardust Thief by Chelsea Abdullah, The Final Strife by Sarah L. Arifi, and the final one in that little stack, A River Enchanted by Rebecca Ross. So Lore Olympus by Rachel Smith. I have Shipped by Angie Hockman, Fireborn by Rizaria Munda, The Jasmine Throne by Tasha Suri, Daughter of the Blood by Anne Bishop. Oh, don't fall over. No, we don't do that. Neon Gods by Katie Robert, A Fate of Wrath and Flame by K.A. Tucker, A Shadow in the Ember by Jennifer L. Armentrout. Oh dear. Song of Blood and Stone by L. Penelope, and The Lost Queen by Sydney Pike. The Hand of the Sun King by J.T. Greathouse. And the final stack from this shelf, we have Plain Bad Heroines by Emily M. Danforth, The Stone Knife by Anne Stevens, The Last Magician by Lisa Maxwell, Furyborn by Claire Legrand, Sister Song by Lucy Holland, The Helm of Midnight by Marina Lostetta, and The Prison Healer by Lynette Noni. So there we go, that's the second shelf. Lots of hardbacks on that shelf, actually. Okay, we're on to the third and final shelf. Making progress. And I have something to admit. I have a confession to admit. This third shelf is double stacked. I said it. Basically, yeah, it's double stacked. I basically was ending up with a bit of a floor shelf over there off to the side, and to hide the floor shelf, I double stacked it, okay guys? So actually I have more than like 3 shelves worth of books because I have a double stacked shelf. Okay, there we go. I told you. I've been double stacking. So I have the whole of the Winter Night. No, that's not right. I have the whole of the Warlord Chronicles by Bernard Cornwell, the first book being The Winter King, The Enemy of God, and then Excalibur. So I have all 3 of these, all ready to go for if I fancy a series binge. I have Temeraire by Naomi Novik, Dreamer's Pool by Juliette Marillier, Gleam by Raven Kennedy, The Blood Trials by Annie Davenport, La Vérité sur l'affaire Harry Kilbert, The Truth About the Harry Kilbert Affair by Joel Dicker, Chain of Iron by Cassandra Clare, A Taste of Gold and Iron by Alexandra Rowland, The Black Coast by Mike Brooks, The Dragonbone Chair by Tad Williams, Vicious by V.E. Schwab, and Incendiary by Zoraida Cordova. Blood and Honey by Shelby Mahurin, The Gifts of Reading, Essays on the Joys of Reading, Giving and Receiving Books by a variety of authors, Firekeeper's Daughter by Angeline Booley, Upon a Burning Throne by Ashok K. Banker, The Song Rising by Samantha Shannon, Dragon Mage by M.L. Spencer, Seven Devils by Elizabeth May and Laura Lamb, and The Emperor's Blade by Brian Staveley. And this shelf is still not finished. We still have some more to go. We have a Kindle. Let's keep going. The shelf that never ends. A Touch of Darkness by Scarlett St. Clair. Bringing Down the Duke by Evie Dunmore. The Invisible Library by Genevieve Cogman. A Curious Beginning by Deanna Rayborn. Take a Hint, Danny Brown by Talia Hibbert. Wild Seed by Octavia E. Butler. The First Law Trilogy. The Blade Itself. Last Argument of Kings Before They're Hanged. That's not in the right order. Let's fix this now because this has been annoying me. All by Joe Abercrombie. There we go. That looks much better. Fixed. All 3 of these. And we're on to the final stack. Ray Bearer by Jordan Fueco. A Promise of Fire by Amanda Boucher. The Ember Blade by Chris Wooding. Empire in Black and Gold by Adrian Tchaikovsky. Keeper of the Lost Cities by Shannon Messenger. And then Black Sun and Trail of Lightning, both by Rebecca Roanhorse. And there we go. I think that's it. I think that is it. I think that is my TBR. Although I guess you could probably count The Return of the King in The Lord of the Rings because I haven't read that yet. But it is in that bind-up, which is not sat on the TBR pile because I've read the first 2. But yeah, The Return of the King as well. And I think that might be it. I think that's it. So there we go. I will now go and count all these books and figure out actually how many there are. And we will reflect on that. So, as long as my maths is all correct.
It's not.
As long as I can calculate things.
You can't.
I believe I have 91 books on my physical TBR. As long as I've not missed one somewhere. So I think we're at 91. And that's also including Speaking Bones, the one that's been hiding on the floor shelf for a very long time. So 91 books, 91. I think that's in a pretty similar place to it was a year ago. So I don't think it's really changed that much. I did want it to go down and I would like to continue. I would like it to go down. I would. It's just getting it to go down. It's hard because I like to buy books. But yeah, currently I am at 91 books on my physical TBR. It's below 100. Positive. It is below 100. So I have some work to do to keep getting this number down. Hopefully I can do it. Fingers crossed. I guess the challenge is that I like to work on my series, but the issue is I end up like having the first book in a series and then I have to buy the second and third one, and then I'm not working on my TBR because I'm buying the second and third books in the series that I'm trying to work on. We shall see. Maybe one day I will get this back to just 2 shelves. That is a good aim. Get my TBR back to 2 shelves. Keep working on that goal, Abby. Keep working on it. You can do it. Maybe one day. You can do it. But anyway, for now, we're at 91 books, and I guess that's what it is. Hopefully soon I can get it below 90. You know, small goals. Get it below 90, get it below 80, and then maybe one day I'll get it below 50. But there we go. So let me know how this compares to your physical TBR, if we're about in the same place, if you have much less or much more, if this is like a good number. And thank you so much for watching, and I will see you in my future videos. Bye!